Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, the 23rd day of July 2012. We're going to be live here for the next 3 hours, breaking down all of the amazing developments unfolding worldwide. Yesterday, we posted a Lou Rockwell article that's now in the featured archive of Infowars.com. Or just click on the top stories link at the top of Infowars.com. Dealing with the other post-Colorado shooting rampage. And the police had shot a citizen. The neighborhood came out and was saying, angrily, why'd you do this? So the police opened fire on them with rubber bullets that can kill you at close range. And the footage, because I hadn't watched it until this morning, I just saw the article and read it, has police releasing police dogs on women with babies in their arms and baby strollers and walking up and shotgunning. And I've seen this in Portland, Oregon. They had an anti-war demonstration. The police kettled it. It was peaceful and attacked it. And they come over to the baby in a baby carriage. That's like the favorite thing to target, and spray the babies in the face. And the mother's like, why are you doing that? And says, well, you shouldn't bring a baby to a protest. So this is the type of just insanity that we see going on in some areas of this country. Now, in the aftermath of the shooting there in Colorado, we've seen all the surrogates of Obama come out and call for restrictions of the Second Amendment. But now Obama himself is suggesting he's not going to go after your guns. And the Council on Foreign Relations came out with a report yesterday, Kurt and Emma wrote about it, saying, look, this treaty won't restrict your guns, go back to sleep. Kind of like Obama won't sign the NDAA. He won't hire any lobbyist. He won't do this and that, but then he did. That's their standard tactic, is to get people into a false sense of security and then come after your rights. Because they want to get this treaty through because it does sign us under UN law, but they want to just later implement it. It's kind of like Obama said, yeah, I signed the NDAA, but I won't implement it. Maybe. So we've got all that happening. Also, we've got another article posted up at Infowars.com of that video that happened early last week, or the video got released early last week. It happened a few weeks ago, with the people in the internet cafe, and the two guys come in with masks and guns to rob them. And an old man gets up with a .25 cal and starts with precision, knowing what he's doing, shooting them. They turn tail and run, and he chases them out the door. And, of course, that article that you need to circulate to everybody is up at Infowars.com. So please get it out to everybody. In fact, I'm looking for the exact headline. Yeah, it's in featured news down towards the bottom. How to stop a massacre. Surveillance video reveals simple, low-cost solution that works everywhere. And, I don't sit there and make everybody that writes for our websites, Infowars.com, Prisonplanet.com, or even who we post, totally agree with us. There's also articles going with the perspective that he was on a bunch of psychotropic drugs. There's also a bunch of articles about 20 more examples of sickos that are overrunning America, because there are a lot of people into nihilism and death and murder. Even the London Telegraph has written about that it's the video games, the movies. A normal person doesn't make them go crazy. But sickos, this is how they become a man. Just like in all ancient cultures, young men at around 12, 13 wanted to go join and go on raiding parties or go, to war, because that's how you became a man. In fact, I remember when I was 12, 13, 14, I believed all the stories with the other kids claiming they had all these girlfriends, and I believed everybody's stories about how tough they were. And so I wanted to become that. And that's just a normal male activity. But now they say if you're a really cool male, you get all into death and you go and shoot a bunch of people. There's all this weird art now where good-looking women do mean things to animals. Very sick. But my gut tells me this is a black op, and I'm going to break that down coming up. Big broadcast today. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, the 23rd day of July, 2012. We have Chris Emery and Holland Vander Nieuwenhof, both filmmakers and experts on false flag terror, joining us in the third hour today. And the reason they're joining us is they looked at a specific staged terror attack in 1995, run by the very same crew, I believe, from the evidence and the earmarks and the signatures and the wavelength and the PR push. The prime suspects of this new shooting in Colorado are the same people that committed the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995 on April 19th. And by the way, that's open and shut. I've interviewed the police, the workers, the head of HUD. I've interviewed them all, except, well, those they killed. They killed some of the medical people and at least one police officer that saw the ATF and the dirty deeds they were committing. You know, the same ATF that ships guns to Mexico to blame the Second Amendment, and then the memos come out, it was a false flag. You know, 2,000 dead of the almost 60,000 dead now in the last 3.5, 4 years in Mexico. Hundreds dead in the U.S. Those are very conservative numbers. Multiple Border Patrol, multiple police, doing it all to blame the Second Amendment. Oh, but we shouldn't look at this same crew for the shooting here. How do you do it? You hop somebody up on drugs, shock therapy, psychotropics. It only takes a few months to do this with a person that's already has a proclivity towards being suggestible. And you basically chemically hypnotize them with devil's breath, cocktails of PCP, LSD, mescaline. Oh, that's what was in the bodies of the Mumbai massacre people. Remember 3 years ago, the attacks in India? I went on air and said it's an inside job. Oh, by the way, the head of Indian intelligence who was killed that day fighting them said it's Western intelligence trying to get a war between India and Pakistan. He was killed that day. By the way, he was a Hindu, not a Muslim. They want to get India and Pakistan fighting with each other. And then what came out months later in the Chicago Tribune? I covered this yesterday. Oh, that a CIA agent led and trained the attacks. And then when they finally killed the, was it 5 or 6 guys? You notice they weren't in Muslim garb. They didn't have beards. They looked totally crazy. When I saw that surveillance camera footage the day after, I said those people were on LSD, PCP, mescaline, devil's breath concoctions. Because, I mean, I've got MK Ultra. I know what they give people. You know what they found? Injectors of PCP and LSD. Injectors. Commandos land at night on boats on PCP, LSD, and stuff like that, and we're injecting it into their veins. Do you have any idea what that does to a normal person? A normal person who hasn't been on it for a long period of time cannot get up and walk. In the 50s and 60s, they did it for psychological testing, MK Ultra, at every major university, including University of Texas down the street from me. That's declassified, where they would bring in college neuroscience or psychology students, and they would inject them with pure LSD and then try to program them. Convince them they were somebody else, screw them all up. I mean, we're talking about mega dosages of this. And the only way these guys could be injecting LSD, PCP, and other hallucinogens at the Mumbai attack was if they'd been on it for 6 months or longer. Folks, they'd been strapped down with headsets and total programming electroshock probably for a year. And then it was like, okay, ready now. All the pain's going to end. You're going to win. You're going to find the, you know, the purple monkey and, you know, whatever weird programming word they use. Catcher in the Rye was an earlier program. You know, a lot of shooters were under. And they just it creates an artificial, total obsessive compulsive schizoid break. And then they tell them, all right, and remember, you want to keep this going for days. So they inject them as they're coming into the beach. They give them their backpacks. They give them their team leader. Okay, you ready for your mission? And then they go out for 2 days in hand grenading and rocket attack and machine gun attacks inside the shopping malls. And then it came out in the news when they killed them. There's their backpacks with all the injectables. It's the Indian police. They weren't playing ball. They said, we think you staged that. That was in the Times of India. This is how they do it. Folks, they could grab you off the street, even if you were strong mentally, and in 6 months, they could have you doing anything they wanted, including thinking you were a dog, thinking you were John Wayne, thinking you were the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. They can do whatever they want. They erase your memory with electroshock. 24 hours a day, they've got headsets on you with you tied down in a straitjacket, pumping audio in while they're injecting you. If that doesn't break you, they find your fear points. A lot of times that's people running around in monster outfits while you're hallucinating. Or with the Muslims, it's coming in and women having sex with them while pouring blood on them at the CIA brainwashing base, which is declassified partially. They admit it's there. They have a brainwashing laboratory to create mind control Muslim assassins to then blame on Muslims, and also to command al-Qaeda forces. I mean, you notice the graduates of Camp X-Ray, they're the people commanding Libya attack, commanding Syria attack, commanding it all. But see, I'm digressing into mind control here right now. That's how this works. And you notice he was a promising, quote, young scientist in his PhD level. You notice that we did look it up. Indeed, you can go look it up. In fact, I've got to get these articles written and do all the research. Never have time to even codify it. It was a Department of Defense funded neurosciences laboratory, funded out of Pennsylvania and out of the Air Force Base nearby. And he's in an advanced secretive program. We have videos now before he even finishes regular college degree talking about time gaps. And again, it's just so obvious. This whole thing is just completely... Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Look it up. Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber. He was MK-Ultra. I mean, that's admitted that he was MK-Ultra. And it was just a footnote in some of the college students that, quote, volunteered for the program. Captain Webb, are you ready to commit to this program no matter what? Yes, sir. Are you sure you're ready to commit to this program? I warn you, this program is unorthodox and highly classified. Are you ready to commit to this program? Yes, sir, I'm ready to commit to this program. If you are in the military or any other group and they ever want you to volunteer for some kind of program and they tell you it's classified and it deals with drugs to enhance your ability, which they admit they've been doing, but they won't tell you the details, do not do it. Do not do it. Because a lot of times they get you to volunteer and don't tell you, by the way, we're going to set you up as a patsy and send you to death row or send you to a mental institution. You do not want to be part of this. So the point is, this is real. This is going on. This is happening. Every major government does it. Now this could be mind control to the point if he was the shooter. That's harder to pull off. Okay, they could get it to that level. But that's normally it's just somebody whacked out of their mind who is programmed, probably being shown, you know, the Joker scenes 5,000 times while brain probes are in him and he's on a cocktail of hallucinogens, flying a magic carpet. And then now he just thinks he's the Joker and will foam at the mouth for the rest of his life and say, yes, I did it, yes, I did it. They'll get him drugged up, have the army doctors come in. They'll even use the doctors that programmed him. It'll be, oh, a former top mind control scientist is the court-appointed doctor for Mr. Holmes. You know, and it'll be, oh, that's no big deal. No big deal. Nothing to worry about. Oh, never mind, Mr. Gopher. Just, you know, some friends, Mr. Rabbit, No, but it's a plastic explosive. Nothing to worry about. That's a quote from Caddyshack. He's dropping them in there. They'll have... Literally, McVeigh had Jolly and West, the protege of Dr. Ewan Cameron, the worldwide most famous mind control doctor that kidnapped thousands of children, military personnel, you name it, and totally programmed them with the LSD, PCP, electroshock, and all of it. Now they just use brain probes and chips. 20 years ago, they had remote control roaches, remote control rats, where the rat stops, walks, gets up on its hind legs, bites, so you can send them into rubble or whatever. You've seen robo-rats. They've got a chip in their brain. You know, they've had them for decades. They send them into rubble and stuff. Special forces have got them now, drop them out, send